Hi guys, I'm Miriam Cotellis. Welcome to Radiant Being. So I've been doing a bunch of Akashic Record readings in the past month, and I've learned a couple of things which I'm going to share with you today. Um, One thing I've noticed is that after reading for strangers, I realized I've been doing this my whole life. And my whole life, people have come to me and they share their stories. And then while I'm listening to them very intently in the hopes of helping them, the answers would drop in. Like a lot of, the guidance for that person would drop in, and I would just voice these messages that would drop in to my head as I'm listening to them. And many would come back and would tell me later that my messages have helped them. So, for whatever it's worth, if you guys are starting out with reading the records, it is not going to feel completely different, like you're totally changing consciousness. It is pretty much, it's going to come through and it's going to feel very similar. So, don't think that it's not it. The second thing I've noticed that is very meaningful to share here is that as an empath, I feel the feelings of doubt very clearly, and it blocks the energetic flow. So I had a client who also just happens to be a healer and came in during the middle of the reading. I She came in with a different question, or she just pivoted completely, and it just made me realize, oh, and she's doubting. And doubt carries a certain energy, and the impressions that I got were not as accurate as they could be. The connection that I had was actually broken several times because of the lack of coherence between myself and this sitter. So partly it was my fault because I'm a new practitioner and I let this feeling of doubt that she had to affect me. Anyway, she left my reading unconvinced, and in the end, after reflecting on it, I thought, oh, she pretty much got what she expected. And so in a reading, when you come to a reading with the expectation to truly get a message that will truly resonate, and be open to that. Because when you come to it with this expectation of the reading will validate my belief, then that's a lot of weight energetically for the reader. So, in essence, your mindset shapes your experience. The last thing I wanted to share was how messages come through. And I do participate in a group Akashic Record Reading circle where people come in, and if they have questions, they can then put their question forth. We do the opening prayer, and all of us take turns sharing what we're getting from the records to that one client. And what's been interesting about this experience is seeing how everyone has different ways of accessing the records, or everyone has different ways in which the records come to them. So for me, I get images, sometimes words or phrases, and which are layered in meaning, or as you would call them, maybe visual downloads. And I have cataloged over maybe 100 different symbols, and with each client, maybe 5 to 10 will show up per reading, or any one of those hundreds during the reading. 10 different ones will come by for each client. And at first I questioned what was coming up, but what made me a believer of my own ability to do this was the physical reactions that I was getting and that my client was getting. We would get tingles, chills, synchronicities. A lot of times the client will ask a question that's very similarly aligned with something I'm dealing with. And all of those things are what I call coherence. And I'm sure that's what in the metaphysical world is called coherence. But in what Candace Craw Goldman talks about, which is the ability to grow that energy between the client and the healer. And so it's like a palpable, beautiful energy that builds between the client and the reader. So that's it. If you have a heartfelt question that you truly want help with, I am going to attach a link below for you to communicate with us and maybe show up to one of our Monday meetings, and you will get a combined reading from all of us. There's more information down below if you're interested. And thanks for listening. All right, bye bye.